Welcome to another episode of VNture Podcast, your weekly source of visual novel goodness. I am Amar, and together with Tauros, we shall venture into another discussion about VNs. Today we are all in holiday spirit, and we present you with a special Christmas episode. So, jingle bells, Rusty joins again. Welcome back, Therustyfountain.
Thank you so much. Glad to be back again. Thanks for having me.
And for anyone who may have missed you last week or just need a quick refresher, could you please introduce yourself again to everyone listening?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my name is Therustyfountain. I've been on YouTube for off and on for a couple years now, but I make currently I make videos on visual novels, anime, games. Typically, kind of pick a topic or a theme about one of them and kind of analyze them. But yeah, that's me.
Glad to have you on board, especially for today's special holiday Christmas episode of VNture Podcast. And so, before we get any further in this, we could all share a little bit about some nice anime or VN material we've read that involves Christmas. I guess I'll kick it off. Immediately, one VN that I've read that comes to mind about Christmas is Hatoful Boyfriend Holiday Star. Everyone's probably heard of Hatoful Boyfriend, that famous visual novel where you, a high school girl, attend a high school and a world composed of intelligent pigeons. It's a ridiculous premise, and you throughout all the adventures that go on in this relatively normal high school life, you end up falling into all sorts of emotional twists and turns as you fall in love with a pigeon. This got really famous way back in the day because of its ridiculous premise, but I can promise you, it is really good and it has all sorts of emotional impact. You would not expect to ever cry over this static PNG of a pigeon, but I did, damn it.
And you're not afraid to say so.
I'm proud to say it. It has a sequel in the form of a fan disc called Holiday Star. And this fan disc sequel is set entirely during the Christmas season. It's composed of 4 episodes, and the first 2 are really lighthearted, and it's with everyone enjoying the Christmas cheer and the all sorts of trouble that a few evil-minded pigeons get up to. And so you gotta save the spirit of Christmas, you gotta use the power of friendship to save the day and get everyone a very happy holidays. I really like it because, Holiday Star is very much, in my opinion, what a fan disc should strive to be. It should be not quite a sequel in terms of scope or length or production values, but it should be a continuation of the story. It should still have all the cast members together, enjoying their time after the main game, hopefully, and introduce a few new side bit characters where everyone gets to have fun saving the day yet again. And that's something Holiday Star does very well. It's very ridiculous, but they all come together at the end,
Yeah, and I feel like it works very well in contrast. If you pair it up just after what is mostly considered like a true route, the BBL, this is stark contrast to how that one was very serious, very gripping, and now you have something to cheer you up, something that is by all definitions cheery and happy.
Oh yes. There's a lot of happiness, and there's some of the most ridiculous CGs you will ever see, even considering it is a pigeon dating sim. And I love that you mentioned that because, like I said, it's 4 episodes. The first 2 are very Christmassy and whatnot. The second 2 go back right down to form with the whole BBL route tone and atmosphere. It goes back to being very gripping, like you said, and very dangerous. By the end of it, there were more tears that were shed.
Aww.
This I was actually surprised. I was talking to you, Rusty, and you hadn't heard of Hatoful Boyfriend before. Really?
I don't know how I missed it, but somehow I had never heard of this. I just added it to my wish list on Steam. I'm definitely gonna check it out. But
Oh, that's
I never
awesome.
even heard of it before today.
Oh man, that's always fun. At this point we're getting to the part in the visual novel sphere where I suppose nowadays there's classics that people aren't hearing about. It used to be back in the day if you were a fan in like 2013, it's like there were like 20 translated titles and that was it. And it was like if you wanted to be a VN fan, it's like that was all that was offered and that was all you talked about with people. But now it's like, oh my god, the whole industry had grown so much with translated works and OEL VNs and moeges to the point where if you're getting into, VNs anywhere in like the past 4 or 5 years or however much, there's so much stuff you could read. All sorts of good quality stuff.
And that's exactly when I started. It was about 5 years ago. So, right as things are ramping up.
Oh, that's great. But yes, Holiday Star, a very comfy, cozy, and yet also emotional Christmas spirit.
And since you got a present straight into your wish list from Taurus, let me continue on. And on the same wavelength of fun discs, I want to talk about the Muv-Luv. Because it happens, like Christmas episode, it happens with Photon Melodies. It is an after story that happens after all those events that transpired in Alternative. And just like in the Hatoful Boyfriend, it is in stark contrast of how gripping and serious and immediate the threat and story was by the end of Alternative. That one, Fundisk, tries to alleviate by injecting humor and positivity. And it culminates in a very wholesome moment when all those characters that you experience those tragic moments with now can celebrate Christmas. And if you think about it, for those who read Muv-Luv, that kind of dichotomy of having wholesome moments in juxtaposition to how serious it later becomes makes you really appreciate that when you can really reflect back of how important it is to value your friends, how special it is to give and receive presents to others. And it is really nicely portrayed in that fan disc of Photon Melodies.
So it's also another sort of fan disc sequel spin-off to Muv-Luv Alternative?
Yes. Again, since you know Muv-Luv, you know how wacky, sciencey can it become. So it is sorta in that realm. It is the Photon Melodies is a English release of Altered Fate. That's the original title that this was called. And again, I cannot go into spoilers, but it serves like as a fan disc to the series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'll have to check it out. I never read Muv-Luv either, so I'll have to check that one out too.
But on that note of what you have read, you've read Necopara. And who I would be by not mentioning how Necopara Volume 4 takes place in Christmas. And it is, in addition to the romance aspect of it all, of how it is a special time for the main protagonist to spend with his companions, it is interesting because they focus a lot of customer service and baking cakes that are special for those occasions. And they really like to delve deep into that. So in addition to having a very wholesome family moment and or romance scenes with those companions of the protagonist, you also see how bustling and hustling looks in the cafe during that season.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very unique point. Because let's admit that anime and VNs, to some degree, the romance VNs, tend to centralize as a be-all, end-all event for couples the Christmas episode, the Christmas moment, yeah. But here, this title, The Necopara, explores many different aspects from the business side of things, from the family side of things, and from the romance side of things.
Oh, because I would imagine it's being the holiday season is that there's going to be a ton of prep work for a business
Yep.
to prepare, just for even the interior decorations.
Yes.
And you're saying these are plot point aspects in Necopara Volume 4?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Okay, cool.
I don't want to go too much into details, but it also serves as a point for the protagonist to prove himself. Yes, I am a chef. I'm baking. I want to show my goods and how people like those pastries of mine.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Very cool.
He's got too many cat girls to disappoint. He's got to rise to the occasion.
He does,
true.
yes.
That's true, but just like we talk about all those friendly groups, right, that work well with each other, in Necopara 4, you see a well-oiled machine. You have all your cat girls that help you run the business. Some run the deliveries, some help in the kitchen with baking stuff, some serve customers. You see that machine, that business thriving. And in the centerpiece of it all is the protagonist.
Ah, nice.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this will be a convincing argument for Rusty to continue on the Necopara franchise. Right?
Yes, I
Maybe.
read the first 2 volumes, but not the last 2. So maybe it's about time that I finish those up.
Yeah, we're trying to fill your backlog, okay?
Exactly. It's already plentiful as it is. I'm going to be adding more to it though. Looks like I'm going to be yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well. That's got to be enough of us bullying poor Rusty. What about you, Russ? Yeah. Do you have some Christmas themed ideals to share with us?
Yeah. So mine's not in the realm of VNs because I've read plenty of VNs, but I haven't really found one that I've read so far that's had like a big Christmas focus yet. Renai Royale, again, there's a theme of Christmas behind it, when there's the confession and everything, but they don't really focus on Christmas itself. So what I'm actually going to go is take this to anime and take this to what I think is one of the better Christmas episodes in an anime out there, which is with Toradora. In fact, I actually think that the Christmas episode in Toradora is one of the most important episodes in the entire anime. As it kind of, serves as a turning point in the relationship between Taiga and Ryuji. Where Ryuji I don't remember her name, but Ryuji had a crush on the girl with like the pinkish hair for the longest time. And right before the Christmas episode, Taiga gets up on stage and sings a Christmas song during the school. It's like I can't remember what it is, like a play festival or whatever they were doing. It's like a Christmas event, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she set it up to where she got the girl with the pink hair to show up right on time to be there with Ryuji, and then Taiga decides to go home because she's gonna go be home for Christmas. Well, she's gonna go be home alone for Christmas actually, because she doesn't really have a relationship with her parents. Something that's explored throughout the rest of the anime. But in this Christmas episode, the big focus is on being with the people you truly care about, and he decides to leave the party, and he goes and he dresses up as in a bear costume with like a Santa outfit on, and he goes and he shows up at her door, freaks her out for a moment, but she lets him in, and yeah, she imagine that you open your window and there's just somebody in a bear suit just staring at you. That would be a little bit freaky.
Sure.
But she ends up spending a little bit of time with him there, but then she kind of pushes him to go back to the party, saying, I set it up for you to be with her. But in the end, she realizes that she's right after he's left that she's started crying, and then she tries to rush out of the building to chase after him, but he's already gone. And she starts screaming his name, saying, Ryuji, I need, I need you, essentially. And the girl with the pink hair at that time was actually walking to the party and saw her do that. And that was kind of the turning point in the whole anime, where she 100% admits to the feelings she has for him, realizes she wants to be with him. But at the end of the day, the whole episode is entirely focused on being with the people that you really truly care about, being with the person that you love. Which again is a huge theme of Christmas in Japan, it's more of a romantic holiday.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you more about that, especially with a theme like what you're describing with Toradora. In Japan, Christmas is more so of a romantic holiday with like the ones you love.
It is. So like here in the West, it's more of a family holiday. Like for example, every single year I get together with both sides of my family. We give each other gifts to spend time with each other. But in Japan, it's actually much more of a romantic holiday. So it's meant to be where you go out with the person that you love and you go spend, some nice romantic time, with each other, which makes sense. Christmas lights, everything like that, snow, the holiday season can be a very romantic feeling. But yeah, it's a much more of a romantic holiday. Kind of also the reverse with New Year's, where at least for me, everybody I've known has spent New Year's more so with friends and stuff, whereas in Japan, New Year's is more of a family event. So it is interesting to see the the differences there.
Oh, so like definitely a sort of differences in cultures sort of thing.
Exactly.
In the same way that, over in the West, obviously, Valentine's Day is a very romantic thing where you spend it with your significant other and whatnot. And then so it's always funny, hearing about stuff like that, because it's like Christmas in my mind is totally different. It's about, the Christmas tree and opening presents with all the little kids and stuff. And instead in Japan,
exactly.
Imagining it more so like, see a star seeing with the night sky. And I don't know, actually. That's unique, and that's pretty novel, and that's always sort of the fun things you hear about when hearing about other people's cultures. Especially through mediums like anime and visual novels.
Yeah, no, it's very cool, and it's something I'd like to experience sometime. It'd be cool to go experience Japan in Christmas time with, whoever I'm with in the future. It'd be cool because it is very, very cool to see the difference in the culture, like you mentioned.
And it will be an adventure that stays with you, because this is an experience that you will have for a long time. So this is a bonding moment of sorts, right?
Exactly.
Well, you hope it's the sort of thing that will stick with you for a long time.
Yes, you hope so. You hope it ends up being a good thing too.
Yeah.
Like I am aware that there's a famous, that one song is very popular in Japan. I forget the name. So last Christmas I gave you my heart.
Oh.
But the very next day you gave it away. It's like that one that you hear all the time on the radio.
True.
Yes, exactly. Very sad.
It's like you said, Taurus. It's so interesting every time when you see the same period of time reflected differently in culture, and in the end, like Rusty has said, it leads to a special time with a special someone. But it could be also subverted, because in some VNs, Christmas is literally the time of something. For example, in some of the story-driven VNs, it could be, now you decide for a route, right? This is the conclusion. You had a common route that will conclude around that time for Christmas. And it wasn't dissimilar for Mavlov for the first time, the Mavlov Extra. Everything culminated around that time.
Oh, did it? I don't remember.
Around that time, yeah.
Yeah, how so?
Around that time, you had to there was a period of time before which you had to make a decision, and by Christmas you were with someone. That was in Mavlov.
Oh, wow.
the Christmas part wasn't that big of a deal in grand scheme of things in the original movie, but still the time limit was there.
Interesting. That's the same way as it was with Renai Royale, like I think I mentioned earlier, is that Christmas isn't a big theme of it, but it is the event in which you decide who you're going to be with. Again, they don't focus on Christmas, but nobody's even wearing a Santa hat during it, and they're all in their Christmas outfits because they had just Rena and Yuna had just performed a Christmas kind of little idol show, right before you make your decision. So yeah, I definitely see that where it is definitely used as a theme or as like a turning point from the common route into whichever route that you choose.
Yeah, and your example with Toradora is exactly that. It's a turning point, right?
It is, exactly. It's the turning point of when she realizes 100% and kind of decides in her mind, like, hey, I want to be with Ryuji. I don't want her to be with him. Because she starts to think, well, if he goes with her, he won't be by my side much longer or as much anymore. And then that kind of turns to her realizing, wait, I need him to be by my side instead. And she kind of makes her decision that, that's when she fully realizes her feelings.
Yeah, and I want to add one more thing to it, right? That the alternative to Christmas spending with your chosen special one, right? The alternative is still to celebrate with family. But that time in Toradora, we had the will they, want they on two axes. One axis of will they, want they was around the main protagonist and Taiga, and the other is will Taiga repair her relationship with family? Like that was another axis that wasn't answered by that point. So the fact that she didn't, and she was about to lose the protagonist, that was very wholesome. Like that was a very emotional moment of how it ended up.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, Ryuji had kind of become her family too, in that sense as well.
Oh.
And well, I mean, at that point, obviously, it was like it's kind of later in the anime. So I mean, she was, he was making dinner for her all the time. They were, spending a lot of time together, and they were basically, family at that point. So yeah, it is. It kind of shows shows both sides to it.
Now you're very much, you stated yourself to be a romance fan. And in any of the visual novels you've read, usually it uses off stuff, the moeges, the romantic types with heroines. Are there any that you think, off the top of your head, would have been even better if they would have taken place during Christmas? With the whole,
that is a good question.
The whole snowy aesthetic.
I have not thought of that.
And exchanging presents.
Yeah, now we give you the opportunity to design your own fan disc.
Yeah. A fan disc where happens during Christmas time.
Exactly.
That is a good question. I did not think of that.
Because sometimes it's like, obviously it doesn't work with the timing. How maybe there's some that have to take place at the beginning or the end of a school year or something. And then,
like summer pockets can't exactly happen in winter. Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, just having, fanboying out about your favorite pairing of the MC and the best girl, and then just imagining all that sweet romantic stuff for the season.
Yeah. No, true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a couple that I guess come to mind. One that would be kind of cool would be actually Senran Banka, because they are at like the shrine. So it'd be cool to see the different, the shrine kind of turn into more of like a wintry Christmas theme. You can get all the characters together because they do get together for a couple of, events where they kind of, celebrate together and stuff like that. Like, for example, well, I don't want to get too many spoilers, so I'll skip that. But it would be cool to see, all of them get together for like a Christmas, section of it in there, because the characters already do again get together a lot and kind of, get together in that way. So that'd be cool. I guess the other one that would be kind of cool would be Under One Wing. Because there is already a section where you're kind of stuck on the island a little bit because of a storm. It'd be cool to see if instead of stuck on the island because of a storm, like a rainstorm, if it was instead of like a snowstorm during Christmas time, and and they could huddle up together under like a fireplace or something like that.
Oh,
So I think those are two that it'd be cool. Something like that.
exactly. I forgot all about that. The whole fireplace with hot chocolate, all cozy.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Hey,
Wait a second. What was that, Amor?
damn, that brings memories. Yeah, I
Oh,
agree with you,
okay.
Taurus.
I thought you said bleh.
Yeah.
No, damn.
Like, oh, we were gonna start a
It's so
fight,
good.
huh?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely would be fighting. Yeah.
This guy's
No.
against cozy.
No. But I like this question a lot. So, Taurus, now you design a fan disk because I
Oh,
want to hear your opinion on that.
Oh, you're gonna shove it on
Yeah.
me, huh?
Same.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Because I also have my answer.
Okay, I wouldn't say I'm really a Mareeck fan. A lot of the stuff I've read tend to be more plot focused, and I guess on the more character driven kinds of things. You know what? One that actually, there's a very good one that comes to mind would be Master Detective Archives Operation Raincode, which is a freaking mouthful of a title. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the one that's basically the spiritual successor to Danganronpa. It's made by a lot of the same staff, so it has similar visuals, art style, music, just plot, the whole murder mystery aspect and all that. But the reason why I especially think that one is because the main character and his detective colleagues really don't get to interact that much as a group. It's like the foundations are there. He gets to interact a lot, on a one-by-one basis, during each of the chapters. But as a group, but as just hanging out when there's not the whole, murder mystery thing floating in the air, that would be really sweet to just see the downtime and see them all bonding. I think this would actually help that VN a lot. It would really add to the mood and the aesthetic instead of the dreary, perpetual, corrupt city that they have to live in instead. It would be a real breath of fresh air into the setting.
Do you think it would help bond those characters together? That you said that they don't really spend as much time together as they should to create the dynamics?
Exactly. You get that sweet group dynamics. And you'd have a lot more, I guess, levity is the word, where you could just take a breather and enjoy the presents as they give each other little gifts. It wouldn't be a very romantic Christmas in the sense that, we've been talking about this whole time. But I think it would really build up those bonds of friendship and togetherness.
Damn.
That would have been really nice.
Very nice. Okay.
Now I'm sad I won't get to see that snow.
You need to stop adding visual novels to my backlog.
Can I work? Well, it is. Unfortunately, it's a Switch exclusive, so I don't know if you have one or not, but that might be a deal breaker.
I do have a Switch.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Damn.
Okay, well, enough about that. You said you had yours in mind, MR, so you tell us.
Yeah, I also didn't lean that much into the romantic aspect, right? But I did lean into the guiding light, the hope. And I think Evenical is exactly the best spot to put a Christmas episode in. It's a title about finding hope in a world that is warped by the divine rules that cannot be broken. And building a family there and having strong relations with those characters that you gathered in your home, that would be an amazing moment for everybody to bond. And especially, I like how you mentioned presents, right? I think this is always a good opportunity to show character with presents. How do you convey a message through presents? Because giving presents is difficult, right? Exchanging presents is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And the best ones are the ones that give a piece of you, a piece of yourself, with the understanding of the one who received it. So the best presents are the ones that bond you two together. And that kind of moment in Evenical would be perfect. Just perfect.
I haven't played it, but
Okay.
Evenical is the sort. It's set in a fantasy land of swords and magic and whatnot. And the main character is the hero with his other adventurer friends going out on some sort of noble quest-ish. that spans the whole game. And so another thing, I don't really know Evan Equaled all that well, but it's very humorous, right? It's generally lighthearted until it hits you with the serious stuff and things get emotional, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, in that sort of sense, some sort of Christmas party or, a fun Christmas side quest, I feel like that would line perfectly into its environment and its atmosphere and its mood, right?
Yep, exactly. That was exactly my point, yeah.
Especially when there's several heroines to be best girl, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
that's what's Christmas.
Explore the dynamic.
That's what it's all about. It's all about giving that diamond ring to best girl.
Exactly.
Obviously. Oh my god.
But I think, that's a good note. I think this is a good way to end the episode. Us talking about some cool Christmas settings we would have liked to see. That's great.
Yep. So
thank
you. Thank you very much again, Rusty, for joining us in and blessing us with your love and passion for romance.
Yeah. Is there anything
pleasure.
Anything you'd like to say in parting to everyone?
Hey, not really. Again, just thank y'all so much for having me on. I've really enjoyed this. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And thank you so much for being a part of this. And thanks everyone listening in for tuning in. And I hope you all have plenty of fun.
Yep. Thank you very much for listening in. Check out Therustyfountain and venture out.
Venture out.